coming. Only got 2 legs, goddammit. Hello? Hey, I got a fella here and he's walking. Well, he's walking across the country like a dummy. It's cold weather out, and I was going to put him up in the shed, but it's warmer here in the shop, and he looks like a clean-cut guy.
Between these trees, we are woven together from our mother's roots and our father's song.
And I frisked him down, and he ain't got no gun or pistol.
And on these roads, we unravel our burden.
I don't know why he's walking. Just some crazy sumbitch, I think.
Though the threads are weak, together they are strong.
At the office,
At the bus stop, at the Starbucks, or the grocery store.
there are people, we don't see them.
Each with stories that we all ignore.
Rich and poor and in between, struggling, young and old, a tapestry of strangers who are black and brown and white, each juggling their hopes with truth.
The pursuit of happiness,
Families and histories of life and loss, all reaching and striving and stretching across America. Between these trees, we are woven together from every land underneath the sun. And on these roads, we unravel our burden. We are many strands, but together we are
Hello, everyone. Welcome to In the Green Room with the cast of Passing Through. I'm Donna Lynn Hilton, Artistic Director for Goodspeed Musicals.
And I'm David Byrd, Managing Director. It's so nice to welcome you all this evening. Hi,
Hi,
Donna.
David. Hi, David. It's good to see you. I haven't spent any time with you
I
today.
know. I've missed you desperately.
Yes. Welcome, everybody. We're so happy that you could join us. And we want to offer a really special thank you to all of you out there who have contributed to Goodspeed during this last year. Your help has really made it possible for us to sustain during this time. And so thank you. We're so thrilled that we have the opportunity to share this archive capture of our 2019 production of Passing Through. Goodspeed developed Passing Through 2 residencies at the John A. Mercer Foundation Writers Grove and our Festival of New Musicals, and then at this 2019 production. And we're really pleased to be able to stream it for you in the next few weeks.
Yeah. So we're joining you tonight, as you know, with the cast of Passing Through. The show is streaming through April 4th, and you can find out more, including purchasing your $25 ticket at goodspeed.org. If you haven't done so already, we hope that you will very soon. And I've got to tell you, I'm personally very excited about meeting this company. I am new to the Goodspeed family, and just a few weeks ago was given the opportunity to witness this work. I sat in my living room on a Saturday afternoon, watched it, and I was gutted. I sat probably for 5 or 10 minutes after the show was over on my couch, and was just really struck by the humanity of it. I saw myself, I saw people I know. I think, Donna Lynn, I texted you very quickly thereafter, just because I was so profoundly impacted by it. And so we're delighted that we get these folks with us tonight. And I think we're at that point. We're going to bring some folks in and have some.
I think we are. Let's bring in several of our cast members. It's such a big group. We have to split them up into 2 different groups. But hi, everybody.
Hi.
We're dropping in. Oh, it's like Christmas. It's like the packages are being unwrapped on Christmas.
You never know who's going to show up.
No, you never know.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's so good to see you. And I'm happy to introduce our new Managing Director, David Byrd, to all of you.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Good to see
Hi,
you.
David.
Welcome back. We're glad to have you with us. So we're going to start off tonight. We would love to just go around really quickly and have you introduce yourself and maybe tell us where you're calling in from, or if you want to tell us what you've been up to very briefly during the pandemic. Max, why don't you kick us off?
Hey, Max Chernin here. I'm in Brooklyn. I've been here for most of the pandemic. Taking some odd jobs. I'm an executive voice coach. I teach. I am on an admissions panel at NYU. And I'm going back to season 3 of a show that I shot last year called Dickinson.
Excellent. That's exciting. You've been busy.
Sure. Yeah.
We should also tell people who you play in the show. Your primary
I play
character,
Andrew.
maybe.
Yes.
Andrew Forstuffle. Andrew. The character's Andrew. Yeah. Cool.
Great.
Hi, Celeste.
Hi, I'm Celeste. I'm in California right now, visiting my family, kind of hanging out. I have not been as busy as Max, so not at all. But hopefully soon we'll all be busy again and doing theater together very soon.
Your mouth to God's ears. Charles, we're going to pop down to you.
Okay, hi. I'm Charles. I am in South Jersey. Pandemic moved me down here. What can I say? We decided to make a big change, but it's been good. Mostly just acclimating and doing as much as I can. I've been doing some voice work. I did audio book. I've been doing some video games. You might hear me in some very odd places and go, that sounds familiar. But that's pretty much it. That and working on the house. So there you go.
Excellent. Excellent. That's a great voice for video games.
Hopefully,
love your voice.
hopefully.
Yeah.
It lets me play characters, and that's what I really like to do.
Excellent. Jim Stanek.
Hi, everybody. I am in Manhattan. I have spent almost all of the pandemic with my wife and 3 boys on the Upper West Side, just trying to keep them safe and keep us all sane. Some days I'm more successful at that than others. But this is such a treat to be with this group of people again. I have missed them so much over this past year. I got to see Ryan on a socially distanced walk, but that's it. So this is a treat.
Yeah.
Great.
It is for
Glad
us
to
too.
hear.
Hi, Mary Jo.
Hi, how are you?
Very
I'm Mary Jo Mecca. I was Maggie in the show, and Nancy Avery, the butterfly lady, and a prisoner. Kind of how I felt this past year on lockdown. I'm in Chelsea, New York. I've just been keeping myself busy. My mother moved, so that was interesting during the pandemic, having her move out of a large house into a small place. That was a strange thing to do. I've been making masks. I took care of a lot of people who had the COVID in the beginning. I was like the food runner, the drop, ring the doorbell and run. And really streaming a lot of theater and a lot of television. And I finally got to see Hamilton. I don't know if that would have been possible.
Awesome.
So that's it.
I love it. Lynn, how are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. My name is Lynn Hanau, and I played Carmen and others in Passing Through. I have been in Long Beach, Long Island with my fiance, and I returned back to the bank. So I went to UConn for business and stumbled upon theater. And so now I'm back in banking, praying for the day that, theater can open up again to make dreams come true with such amazing people. So it was such a beautiful treat to see Passing Through live and relive that. It was very emotional, actually, because it feels like such a past life. So I'm very grateful that we get to experience that selfishly, and that also so many others around the world can experience it as well. So thank you.
Oh, our pleasure. Our pleasure. As we were preparing to market the show, the stream, we asked each of you to share your thoughts about what it had meant, what the show had meant Pull yourself together, Jim. What the show had meant to you, or a special memory from the show, and everybody participated, and the messages were so beautiful. And then Katie Desjardins in our marketing office cut them in with some music from the show, and they're on Goodspeed social media. If anybody listening hasn't seen them, you want to go find them because they're really so beautiful and such beautiful glimpses of the show and of the wonderful cast that we put together. And through all of the preparation, I sort of lost sight of the fact that you guys had never seen the show. You know, and so when you had the chance, we gave you about 48 hours to preview it before it went online, and the messages I was getting were sort of like, I was like, oh my goodness, they'd never seen it before. So I'm just really interested in what your thoughts were when you finally were able to see the show. How you felt about that? What was the emotion? Max,
kick us off.
I mean, I was so swept up in the show on a day-to-day basis. I barely left the stage. So, you know, I had such an amazing 360 view of everyone at all times, but I never got to step back and watch anything really, even during tech or little parts of the show. So I was just sitting there so happy, so grateful, and really moved by just seeing the piece. And yeah, it was really cool. It was really, really cool.
Yeah. Celeste, how about you?
I feel like I was just so impressed with everyone in the cast. I mean, obviously I saw in rehearsals and whatnot and loved everyone so much throughout the process, but getting to watch the show, I really every single person in the show has a moment, and it's just so beautiful to me that we're all very different people. And I was really just moved by all of the different characters and the way that this cast, it's a very generous cast, you know. Mm-hmm. Everyone really everyone gives to each other throughout the whole production, and no one's gunning for attention. It's just a group project. I don't know, but yeah, it was really, and obviously sobbing. I sobbed a lot. So
You weren't alone.
Was anybody surprised by anything that
a lot?
Yeah. For example,
For me, I think by not having seen it, by not having had that, there were so many, watching Reed and Max on stage during that fireside moment. I had never seen the campfire effect, the light effect. It was bizarre, and it's so much depth and richness to it. And I think it was the first time that I had ever really understood that number, from the beginning to end, because there's a long arc in that particular song, and I don't think I had ever really gotten that until I watched it in the video.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And that's how amazingly talented everybody is, because I mean that really, it jumps out at you. You know, I was so moved by the music initially, and then it reminded me of everything, and I felt everything, and I found myself singing along. And it was just it was really, really very emotional and exciting, and I was really, really proud to have been a part of it, and to have worked with this group of people, because everybody was bringing it, and you just saw it and you felt it and you thought, this really is the little train that could. It just needs a dance. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think the thing that kept hitting me was, and I have to remind people all the time, the show had never been on its feet before. You know, this was the first time the show had ever been on its feet. And so really the physical production was minimal. You know, it's beautifully lit. It's so well costumed. The set design gave us a minimal amount to do a great deal with. And yet it's just really a spectacular production, says the person who produced it. But so, but really for first time on its feet, just kudos to everybody involved, because it really is well done. Jim Stanek, we have a saying, Staneking, which means one has become emotional. What tore you up the most?
Oh gosh. I think I texted everybody halfway through and said that I Staneked 3 or 4 times in the first act. Then in the second act, it was 10. I forgot to tell everybody, I play Andrew's father in the piece. And I wanted to say, because I think I'm the only one who did not do a video, because I had a really tough time bringing myself to talk about this piece that I love so much. So that aside, what I want to say is that this past year, all of us across the world have had a difficult time connecting. And I think that this show is all about connecting and connection. And as Andrew's father, I think I have one of the hardest, or one of the, not hardest, but I have the most difficult time connecting. So I spend a lot of the show watching. And I got to watch night after night. And I'm going to Stanek right now. I got to watch night after night this group of people telling this beautiful, simple, heart-rending story with such honesty and grace and cleverness and talent. So I just hope that everybody who sees it or wants to see it does see it, and they start to connect again. And you use these performances to catapult you into that, because I just thought everybody was so good, and sitting there on that stage and listening to the orchestra and what they were doing and seeing, it was just amazing. So it's hard to pinpoint which part made me cry the most. But it's just all moving.
Yeah.
Although it was probably Miss Emma.
Oh, yeah. I think that's true for many of us.
I think so.
There you go.
That's
That's the
beautiful,
moment.
Jim. Hey, Lynn, tell us about your reactions.
For me, I mean, I'm grateful that we got to be on the stage the whole time to watch most of the show. However, I saw most of the show from behind, right? So I didn't get to see it from the front, the reactions and, you know, the story that was being told. So to see the entire thing all together in the parts where I was changing, where I was on stage just there, was incredible to see the entire show, and also to see the growth within each and every one of us. I mean, with this show right now, it makes sense at any time, but right now when we're longing for connection, longing for communication, longing to make these relationships and friendships, it was very moving, because again, we can just all relate so much right now. So again, just reliving that entire experience was emotional in and of itself, because of everything that we're all going through right now, personally, professionally. And yeah, and I'm so sorry, but I have to run.
No.
I just want to say thank you so much, Donna, Lynn, David, the entire cast, Goodspeed, for this opportunity for us to be able to relive this show again. Like, I'm not going to cry, but I'm Stanek number 2. But as for all of us, I know I can speak for all of us, this show moved us in so many ways and touched us in ways we never imagined. And again, a story about connection and, you know, talking to people and learning from their stories. Again, just it resonates so much right now, because that's what we're longing for. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to relive this masterpiece again. So.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you
evening.
so much.
All right. Bye, Lynn.
Bye.
All right. We promised we wouldn't keep everybody here all night, so we're gonna. I feel like I'm playing the dating game or something. We're gonna send some of you away. Max, you're just gonna stay with us, but while we make the switch, we have another clip from the show. So everybody enjoy.
Bye, everybody.
Have you heard the story of the walking man who's journeying across the USA? He's an ordinary guy, you might even pass him by as he travels down the road along the way.
There's Byrd walking and pain walking, and I might go insane walking when every bone and joint wants to explode. But when I can't take more walking, there's fury, hate, and war walking to keep me walking further down the road. And when I die, there'll be nothing for the cry. When I'm gone, no reason to be blue. There'll be nothing left behind, and nothing left to do. Do it all as I go passing through. I wanna do it all as I go passing through.
Hello. New faces, all new faces.
Hi.
So good to see all of you. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Joan is in here.
Oh, Where's Joan? I bet Michael Flynn will collect her.
bring her.
Oh, she's coming because she's in the chat. She'll be here in a minute. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to introduce you all to my new partner at Goodspeed, David Byrd.
Hi, folks.
Hi,
It's nice to-
David. Hi, David.
Congratulations, and it's great to meet you this way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
It's really nice to, I was, I told the other group, I just saw the show the first time a few weeks ago and just profoundly moved by it. So it's really a pleasure to have you tonight.
Yeah.
Why don't we, we're going to get started, I think, by having folks introduce themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
why don't we
Reed,
introduce
you're the
yourself?
A. We'll come to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us who you played in the show and what you've been up to during pandemic. Give us a slice of your lives.
We're going alphabetically. Huh?
Well, I guess Joan would have gone first there, but anyway, I called on you.
Well, that's right. Joan would have been ahead of me. My name is Reed Armstrong, and I play a collection of colorful characters: Leigh and Bill and Dennis, and that means nothing to most viewers until they've seen the show. But I have been locked down. Being one of the senior cast members, I think it's important that I stay on the down low during the pandemic.
Yes.
Recently, I was inspired by Andrew, and I decided to walk across the country. So that's what I've been doing with myself.
Apparently there's someone doing that right now. Yeah.
Seriously.
There's a couple
I saw
walking
that.
across the country now. Yeah. Okay, I'm just slipping across the room to you, Ryan. What you up to?
Hi, I'm Ryan Duncan. I play Paul, Diego, et al., various people in the show as well. And what a year, everybody. When the pandemic started, I had already traveled to Oklahoma City to do a world premiere of a new show called Distant Thunder, a Native American musical, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we've been pushed to next year from this year. But then I ended up in Florida for several months, and I'm back in New York, and I work for a nonprofit, and we did interactive theater with kids in hospitals. And so we've gone digital with that, and we're hoping to be back at we don't know. And this month is oddly very creative. I have my setup here to rehearse a reading later. I'm doing Anna Devere Smith's Twilight, Los Angeles, 1992 for a benefit. So this is like just for rehearsal, and I have like costumes. So
Wow.
I did get more comfortable. I bought all this equipment during this last year to I don't know. I should start a home sitcom or something.
Oh yeah, there you go. What's happened? Has Distant Thunder been postponed kind of indefinitely or kicked down the path? Because it's a great show that deserves to be seen.
Yeah, thank you. It's now officially the same time it was going to be last year. It was going to be this year. Now it's 2022, March, April, 2022.
There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, everything was. So that's our last words.
Great. Okay, Joan, how are you?
Hi guys. I'm Jonah Medelia. I played a lot of people. American web developer, chain gang, Hope was her name, nurse, butterfly woman, Filipina girl, Marie. So pandemic. The beginning was more like doing just fundraiser with friends, especially the ones that didn't happen in actuality, a lot of virtual stuff. And then I've been homeschooling. It's our 9th year of homeschooling. So then I kind of I had to lay low in that and be a mom and do all the homeschooling stuff. And then recently I joined running for 100 miles in March, running for Stop Soldier Suicide. So that I've been running every day so I can make it to 100 miles March 31st. So,
and if people want if people want to support you, where do they go to do that?
StopSoldierSuicide.org or Facebook.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let me put it in the feed.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank
Garrett Long. Hey,
Yeah,
girl.
hi. I'm Garrett, and I had the honor of playing Andrew's mother. I have his book right here. So during the pandemic, actually, when we were doing Passing Through at Goodspeed, I bought a house in Rhinebeck, New York, which is where I am. And when the pandemic happened, we moved here pronto and started the homeschool with Georgie. I have a 6-year-old daughter now.
She was 4 when we were doing it. And we have started a campground, and we have an Airbnb that's going to open up soon. And we're also going to have remote campgrounds on our property. In the beginning of the pandemic, it felt like Walking Dead, and now it's full on Little House on the Prairie. That's full on.
Wonderful. Jennifer Lee Warren.
Hey.
Hey.
Oh, and look at everyone. It's oh gosh, it makes me feel so good. Let's see, the beginning of the pandemic, I had been rehearsing for months the Power to the People concert with the LA Philharmonic at Disney Concert Hall. And we got in 4 concerts on the 10th and the 11th of March. And then the shutdown happened. So we never got to finish to have the public concerts, but it was great. It was wonderful. And the year I've done commercials. I've been lucky. I'm voiceovers, virtual videos for the Actors Fund. And I have to thank Goodspeed and the sponsors for giving us this opportunity, the opportunity for other people to see this beautiful, beautiful American musical. And that's when I would watch backstage. I play the professor and Miss Emma in the show, and to sit backstage or to be in the wings and to watch and see the beautiful performances, and then to finally we get to see it ourselves, to see what the audience saw, was just such a gift. So I'm hoping, I look forward to hearing from my other friends and people who are watching today and everything, to hear what they think about the show, because everyone that I've talked to told me that they stand it like crazy. I have to say that I was the one who came up with Stand It Crazy, because the first rehearsal, he's sitting next to me, our lovely Jim sitting next to me.
This is live.
Oh, who's that?
This is live. If you didn't know, this is live.
The dog is stanicking.
It says live. Yes, and I panicked a lot watching the video of the show.
That's tremendous.
Cheers! It's iced tea. Cheers!
Hey,
cheers!
That's wonderful. You know, it's great to hear you all talk about your experience. And,
Oops.
you know, the show is such a great reminder of the power of human connection. We've talked about that, and it appears already that you're all incredibly close. I can only imagine that you grew closer through the developmental process, and here you are still connected. So would love to hear you guys talk about that. Like, how did that impact you going through this experience together?
The connections. I would like to talk about the very first reading that we did, just the read through. These, you know, we had read the script. Of course, you always read the script, but when it's brought to life by the actors and in our cast specifically, I remember when we got to Ryan and Lynne's scene. I forget what it's called, but I call it "Do It All Over Again," Part 2, and it's about 2 immigrants crossing the border in Mexico. And I thought I was going to have to leave the room as it was brought so beautifully to life. In the very first reading, I thought I was going to, it was too much for me. It was too emotional, and I barely kept it together to stay at the table read. And that's the way it was for every single person in the cast. Celeste, when she sat at the table and sang the "Let Me Drive" thing, it's an incredible cast, just incredible. I'm so honored to be part. And Jennifer Lee Warren as Miss Emma. We all can't take it. Can't take it.
That's great.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we all took very seriously. I know there's some in any musical or any movie or anything, there's some deal of poetic license or artistic license, but a lot of these are real people that we play, and I think we took really seriously these voices, some of which are, well, I think all of these people who I don't think anyone's ever said to them, tell me your story before. And there are a lot of marginalized and unheard voices. And I think we took it very seriously to present these people in this piece, and watching it, which I saw 3 times. I mean, I think I watched it 3 times. Everybody has, and it's been said before, everyone had such distinct, specific moments that we don't all get to see. But there was this real visceral reaction I had to seeing people present another human being they've never met so beautifully, at a time when there's such division in our country. And I felt like, gosh, I just want everybody to see this. I mean, I've kind of marketed it. I'm selling it. I tell anyone that in passing, I swear, if you deliver a package, I'm like, did you see, there's a show. You'd probably travel when you deliver stuff, right? So
We thank you for that. That's wonderful.
I love it.
No, everybody's work was just, I stanicked, but more than that, I couldn't contain myself. I just was kind of jumping and clapping, and reactions you wouldn't think you would do.
So that's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think one of the things people are really interested in when I talk to people about the show is what it was to play someone that then saw the show. So first performance, people may not know, first performance, Andrew Forstoffel and his mom and a big group of extended family and friends were in the theater. Andrew had read the script and had, approved the telling of the story, but he'd never seen the show. And we were all sort of on the edge of our seats. What if they don't like it? And much more than that, the responsibility to tell this story for Andrew, for his mom, for all of the people that he had very real relationships with. And I'll come to you, Max, first. What was that moment like?
I don't think I'll ever have a moment like that again in my life. I mean, beyond just the excitement and pressure of an opening night, the person that I was playing was there next to my parents. But there couldn't be a better person to portray. He is a loving, giving, supportive human being. We ended up going on a 4-hour hike. He didn't wear shoes, of course. And we connected and talked about our lives. And at the end, we told each other how grateful we were to have this experience. And I ended up putting some of his physicality into the show. So, our show changed after opening night. He did this amazing thing he put his hand on my heart and I put my hand on his heart. And he was like, I'm just so grateful it's you that's playing me. And I ended up doing that with Jim in the show. That body language felt right. So it was cool. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to do that. Yeah.
What about the rest of you? The responsibility of playing someone that lives?
Well,
and in your case, Jennifer lived.
I was going to say she has passed on, and it was really what was difficult for me is that usually you have your camaraderie, your rehearsals, and before the show and stuff, but I can't sing if I start to cry. So I had to be like this. And you all, they can tell you. I mean, backstage, I was more like this until the second act, because I had to hold in the responsibility of playing Miss Emma. And for me, I saw the video of her, and I didn't want to imitate her. She was a compilation for me of my brother's grandmother, who was Elizabeth, who was over 100 years old. When she passed away. So I had met her and talked to her, and my mother, who's 90, and the real Miss Emma. And I felt this responsibility for my ancestors. I mean, she's telling me, see, I'm gonna start stanicking. Let me not start stanicking. But so each night I had to be like this until I finished that whole first act. I had to hold it in. And also, I don't, would I tell the story, Donna, which one? About Chester?
Yes.
and the whole being back at Goodspeed, hadn't been there for, years. I can't even remember, 25 whatever years, because I didn't want to go back, because I was a lead in a show called Abyssinia, which was a big hit there. But I had the worst experience in Chester with someone calling me the N-word. And it was like the second time in my life that someone to my face had called me the N-word was in Chester. And so I had to think about going back there. And so I came, but I did go, something drew me. And there's a whole story behind how I ended up playing this because of Brett Rybeck. So I don't want to take up so much time. Look on Facebook, look on whatever, the whole story about how I ended up being Miss Emma. But I said, okay, the universe is telling me to come back. I need to go back. There's a reason. And I think the reason was I got to be able to do this and also to see the beauty of Chester, Connecticut now, how it's changed and how wonderful it is there. So that's my story. Yeah. I don't
Thank you.
I'm like, okay, stop.
It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You know, it's been a tough year,
Beautiful.
year plus for everybody. And I'd love to hear more about, I feel like that this story is something that now that you've revisited it, have you, looked back on this past year, and do you look at it any differently, or do you look at it through a different lens because of having participated in this production and then going through this pandemic we all didn't know we would experience?
Joan?
I do want to say something briefly though. Going into rehearsal, everyone knew what they were going to do exactly. And I think going in, my role was sort of like, okay, where does she fit in, all that stuff. And Igor always asked the right questions. And I love him so much for that. He was the type of director that would be like, he didn't want the answer right away. This is what I want you to do. And what is it in your mind going on? Whatever. He would say to me, I need you to think about these things as you're studying your material, as you're studying, stuff when you get home tonight. And it's basically, what is your significance in this society, in this world, in this whole entire fabric? What kind of thread are you bringing in? And, and to use the word that Jennifer used earlier, compilation, I compiled all my Asian American friends and families, the nurses, the web developers, and all that stuff. Like, I could be standing visibly on the side watching Max doing his thing. I could be the Asian girl. She was waving maybe on one of his walks, and I just took the liberty of doing that. I just owned it. And then I was really touched when there was that one part where, Eric, I don't understand the Fitzbueller part, and he said, oh, we'll change it to who you are. What is it? I'm Filipino. What's sort of like a dish that would freak people out? I said, dinuguan, it's pig's blood. And then, but eventually everyone tried it and everyone loved it and everyone embraced it, but except for Garrett. But I was so touched by it because he just went, with the blessing from Andrew and Andrew's mom. Because of that, we were able to change it to that. And I was just like this, and I love everybody. I love all of your performances. Oh my God. And I'll drink to that.
I was hoping you would tell that story. Thank you. Thank you. Garrett, you had something to add?
Oh, it's been said already. Playing somebody who is in the audience. Therese is also an extraordinary human being, and she's so cool. It's like when you're playing someone who's so much cooler than you'll ever be. I have tons of stories, and I've kept in touch with her, and I'm also very, very grateful, as we all are about Andrew. I'm very grateful to have Therese in my life. And now that we are going to be vaccinated soon, I hope to see her. He doesn't live that far away. And, children are going to bed in our house. I said in my little story that I sent along to you all that getting the hug that I got from her when I was terrified to meet her was all I needed. And Andrew had said that he was quite shocked by some of the characteristics that I did that were so her. And maybe it was luck, or maybe it's because I know women from that part of Pennsylvania that are earthy and grounded. And of course, there's so much information in here of her like sawing her bed in half. So you kind of get an idea. But yeah, it was like Max said, it was something else.
We launched this whole evening without acknowledging our authors, Eric Ulloa and Brett Ryback, who gave us the magnificent material that you all were able to interpret under the leadership of Igor Golden, our director, and Marco Santana, our choreographer. And they all, it was just a magnificent team. It was very much a dream team all the way around.
Our music director
and musical
Matt
director Matt Meckes, orchestrator August Eric Smoen, and just a ton of incredible musicians and technicians and people who supported the work. It was just a really special experience. And really, when we started saying we need to do more streaming, this was the piece that I came straight to. And we were so fortunate that we had such a great archive capture of it, and that everybody agreed that this should move forward. So
and the whole backstage crew too, and our stage management team, just so on board. The support that we had was, it's like, okay, we know it's special, but it seems that other people do too around us,
And Donna, Lynn, to always have you there during rehearsal in the back and just smiling in the back while we were in rehearsal. In the beginning, I was like, there are 1,000 people first day, and then there's Donna Lynn. I was like, who's that? Oh, that's what she is. She's all smiles in the back.
That's what I get to do.
Oh,
I get to sit there and enjoy the show over and over again. Reed, you had something you wanted to
Well, I was just going to say, one of the great things about there's nothing like live theater. There's nothing like being in the house and experiencing it firsthand. But it occurs to me that one of the great things about this streaming opportunity is that many people, everybody in Connecticut and most of the people in the tri-state area know what Goodspeed does. They know what Goodspeed is. They know its reputation. But people elsewhere don't. People over the other, 47 states or whatever don't. And this, there are so many people. I know I did not grow up steeped in the musical theater tradition. I was someone who grew up on film and television and yes, plays. But for people, because we're talking in some degree of vagary here about this story, it's a very unique story. And in so many ways, for people who might consider looking at this, it's not at all typical of what people generally think of when they think of musicals. You hear us talk about these salt of the earth characters, the people that Andrew, this incredibly earnest young man, meet as he travels across the country. I had the distinct benefit of, they cast me in roles that don't veer all that far from who I am. And that was a gift for me because I knew these people. They were people from my life. They're people that I felt I could bring to life without a whole lot of effort. I would just urge people, especially those who are thinking that, musicals are all, glitz and glitter and song and dance and high stepping, that's not what this is. This is a true story about America. And I just feel like it really appeals to people who may not think they are musical theater lovers. And I would urge them to give it a try because it's unique in that regard. So unique.
Yeah, that's
on that note.
Really good point. Yeah. That it's honest. That's what, when I was watching it, I said, I never saw a moment that wasn't, and there's nothing wrong with that, because I do that all the time too. But every moment, every character on that stage to me was like honest. I knew that person, or I'd met that person. You did some acting there, Reed, because there's some characters that you play that we know you are not like that. So don't even try it. Okay. But I also want to give Goodspeed the credit, the filming of it. Because I've seen some archival filming of shows, and where something happened on the side and they missed it the whole, because the camera's right. The filming that you guys did, I just want to give you props. It is beautiful. The show is beautiful, but it's also filmed beautifully.
The
So-
nuances. Yeah, they captured.
Yeah, by
Mhm.
our
Really.
longtime, our friends Craig and Lydia LaPlante, CVP. You can find them here in Connecticut if you need something captured. They
So
just did
impressive.
a beautiful job. Yeah.
So impressive. And it is it's a play and a musical. It's not a play with music, and it's not quite, it's both. It really is both. I love that there were whole scenes that the result wasn't to get to a song. And then there were songs that it's like, well, that was just the character. We don't need to say anything else. And I think that's a testament to Eric and Brett's writing. The way they shaped it is unique. Like
I
we
thought
were
about
saying.
saying that. It's almost more like a play, but that sells the sublime music of Brett Ryback short, because it has some of the most tuneful music that I've ever heard in a show, and yet it is also seamlessly integrated into this very real, very relatable.
It's all of it.
And then we have holding it together is Max. I'm giving you props, Max, my young man here, because he never leaves the stage except for maybe 2 times.
Right.
I mean, that's just for
extraordinary
moments, and he is holding this group of people that he has to go through every month. That's when I'm talking about an honest performance. Everything that you do in the show is so beautiful. But I know how you are working in your head. Oh, I got to move this here, and I got to move that there, and I got to take this here, and I got to do this, whatever. And I'm like, Max, so I bow down to you, because I mean, I could see it on the side from the wings, but then to see it from the audience's perspective and us backstage knowing what this young man was doing to keep it all together. So I'm giving you your props, and I don't often do that.
So, thank you. I
We have to
couldn't
play the
done it.
mandolin.
Yeah. Couldn't have done it with all you guys, though. I always say I'm so grateful that everyone's eyes that I was looking into was staring right back at me. You know, you've been in those shows where people are glazed over. Everyone was always there for me. So I'm so grateful for you guys.
We don't get
All right.
along very well. Can you tell? We don't really.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. So I feel like we should probably call this a halt before a fight breaks out. I want to make sure everybody knows we have friends joining us from Switzerland and Australia in the chat. That's so wonderful. And I will say, without stanicking, this is the America I want to share with the world. So thank you all for being part of that. The good speed in the America I wanted to share with the world. So thank you all so much for being part of that. We're going to have to do this with everybody on the same screen. So we'll be following up on that.
Yes.
All right. David, take it away.
Yeah, and thank you again to our donors too. We really appreciate you making this happen. Watch your emails, watch our social media for more information, and join us for our next In the Green Room. We'll see you soon. Have a great
All
evening.
right. Bye, everybody. To the cast.